What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin, and this is my 2015 Carolina Panthers preview for the season. The season starts Thursday of next week. I believe it's the Steelers, Patriots, and the Carolina Panthers play on Sunday. More than likely Sunday afternoon. Of course, I'm watching all the games. I just wanted to give a preview of pretty much what I expect from this season because I really haven't gotten to do many videos on them, and I'm gonna do a couple other teams, but I got to do the Panthers first, and pretty much just a preview of what I think how the season's gonna go. Talk about some of the the roster moves, the projected starters, and pretty much the schedule. I'm not gonna go into deep of who I think how I think those games are gonna turn out. Those are gonna be in my picks videos, which of course will be. I'll try to do them every Wednesday, either every Tuesday or Wednesday. When I go through and pick all the teams and keep up with all wins and losses and whatnot. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into I would say the depth chart. I actually got the depth chart up here of guys who are the projected starters. Sorry if I look over to the screen, but I want to start with the offense first because that's the side of the ball that's the biggest concern. And let's start with one of the biggest concerns, and that's wide receiver. As you well know, Kelvin Benjamin got tore his ACL, so he's done for the season. So that's a huge blow. He was a guy in the second year. You could really see that he was going to be something. He was going to be a guy that teams' defenses had the game plan for. Now that's not there. That's another weapon that Cam Newton doesn't have. Um, I guess I can go through the receivers because it's very lackluster. Ted Ginn, Kevin Norwood, um, Corey Brown, Jericho Cartry, and Devin Funches is a guy who we drafted in the first round who was a tight end. Before coming in, they made the transition over to receiver. Not a fast guy. I looked at game tape. I don't look at a bunch of college football, but I do look at game tape for some of these players. Um, and he's another guy that doesn't get a bunch of separation. Really, none of these guys get a bunch of separation. Jericho Cartry, he's an aging player, so he's not going to get a bunch of separation. He's more of a possession guy. Same would be for a guy like Funches. And at least with Kelvin Benjamin, he was going to make those tough grabs down the field. He had good hands. Of course, last year, he had rookie mistakes, of course. Ted Ginn's the one speed guy, and if you remember a couple years back, he had one of his best years as a receiver in Carolina, and then of course we got rid of him. Hopefully, he takes over the special teams role. I think that's the reason they got rid of Brenton Burson because they're gonna put Ted Ginn in that role. He's much better in that role. So receiver is very weak. When you got Ted Ginn projected as the number one, I mean the number one or number two guy, you lacking talent at that receiver position. Um, Offensive line, starting left tackle was Michael Orr. Last year was Byron Bell. Michael Orr is not that good. He hasn't been that good in Tennessee. This guy we traded for, but Byron Bell was horrible. I think Michael Orr can do better than Byron Bell did because he gave a lot of pressure, gave a lot of sacks, like QB hits. He wasn't that good. Um, and left guard Andrew Norwell is a second year guy. So we got some young guys on this offensive line. Ryan Khalil, guys he's in his ninth year. Trey Turner's the right guard. My bad, Ryan Khalil's a center if you don't know that. Trey Turner's right guard, and sorry if I say his name wrong. Mike Rammers is the right tackle. Both those guys in their second year. So we got three 2 year guys that are in their second year. So relatively young. Of course, we got Ryan Khalil been in the league 9 years, and we have Michael Orr been in the league 7 years. And last year Ryan Khalil didn't look that good from the games I saw, and I expect the offensive line to struggle unless they show me something different in the regular season. I expect them to struggle, especially seeing that we don't have a bunch of receiver talent. So it's going to take longer for these guys to get an opening for Cam Newton to hit them. At tight end, we got Greg Olsen, Ed Dixon. Ed Dixon, I thought had some potential. Maybe he shows us something. We know Greg Olsen is a beast. Definitely one of the more underrated tight ends in football. The guy has had just about every year he's been in Carolina, he's played good. He's definitely been a constant, productive, and consistent. He's been there. He's been a nice target for Cam Newton. I expect him to have a good year. He's going to get a bunch of targets. So if you run a fantasy league, pick up Greg Olsen because he's going to get a lot of targets from Cam Newton, especially with this abysmal receiving core. Running, well, of course, Cam Newton, Derek Anderson, Joe Webb. We know Cam Newton's the projected starter. They paid him all that money. He's going to be the starter. He's going to have to show up, and he's going to have to do more without Kelvin Benjamin being there. He's going to have to do more. He's going to have to show the fans. He's going to show fans of Panthers and the fans, the rest of the league and ownership that he can, that he was worth that kind of money, and that he can go out there and produce consistently because outside of his first season, he hasn't been as consistent as you want him to be. And a lot of that is just the talent around him. But you pay him all his money now, he has to show up. At running back, we have projected starter is Jonathan Stewart. Fozzie Whitaker he was a guy that was getting playing time last year when we lost of course DeAngelo Williams, who is now in Pittsburgh. When he got injured with us last year, Jonathan Stewart got injured, and Mike Tober got injured. So Fozzie Whitaker was a guy who did get some playing time. I expect him to get some playing time, seeing that they usually use at least 3 or 4 running backs. Of course, you got to add in Cam Newton as a runner. Fullback Mike Tober, you expect to see him definitely in the lineup. But from looking at it, man, with the offensive line and struggles at receiver, the offensive line didn't do a good job of run blocking either. So that's another issue. I just see this offense still struggling. If Cam can really step up and make these guys better, and the offensive line can be better than what I think they're gonna be, I think the whole offense can definitely get better. But just looking at this lineup and seeing what they did last year, when I ain't talking about preseason. I'm talking about a guy going in from first quarter to fourth quarter and playing consistent. I'm talking about all these guys against the other team's first string. But definitely, I feel there's going to be some struggles offensively. We're one of the worst red zone teams. I definitely still see that. Other side of the ball, not as many concerns. It's definitely not as many concerns. So we definitely have this is where our best personnel are at. Charles Johnson, left defensive end, nose tackle Star Lotulelei. Two defensive tackles Star Lotulelei, K'Wan Short, Dewan Edwards coming in as well. So I think we're pretty good at that defensive tackle position. They were able to get some pressure. They were able to plug the run, not as well as they were when they came in that rookie season where they were shutting down the run. We had one of the better run defenses in football. Kind of took a step back last year. I'm hoping they can get back to that form. But we'll have to see. Right defensive end is a huge concern with Greg Hardy going over to Dallas. You got Connie Ely, Mario Addison. Mario Addison was a guy who could get pressure on the QB, but he didn't get a bunch of snaps. For whatever reason, they put him in third down, second and long. Plays where there was more of a likelihood of it being a passing play. And he was, for the most part, been able to get pressure. Maybe he's weak against the run. Haven't seen him too much against the run, but maybe we'll see more of him if Connie Ely doesn't step up and produces. I think that's the one position I see on that line that's a question mark. Charles Johnson, yeah, he's taking a step back, but he's a guy who can get pressure. It's that right defensive end. Man, we're gonna miss Greg Hardy, but everyone knows what he did. Outside linebacker, AJ Klein, Shaq Thompson is pretty much just the second string linebacker. I have a feeling with Shaq Thompson that he's gonna get moved over They're probably going to use him more in dime situations, third and long, second and long, on for sure passing plays. Because of his speed, ability to coverage. I've looked up game tape, so the guy it does have good speed. He diagnoses plays well. I really think that was a good pickup. But for him to be a linebacker, he's been on a small side. He's about, I believe let me check it, 6 foot 230. So he's been on a small side for a linebacker. But I got a feeling you can move him to safety, and it could definitely work like that. Uh, Middle linebacker, of course, we got Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly's the man. Our best defensive player. Um, the other outside linebacker position, we have Thomas Davis, another guy who's been through 3 ACL injuries and still is very quick. He played well last year. I expect more of the same from him. Um, Then we get into the secondary. Now, this is where the talent kind of drops off, and it's definitely an area of concern, especially it has been in the past. Hell, it was a question mark when the defense was playing really good the year before last. It was still a question mark. We picked up Charles Tillman from the Chicago Bears. He's a guy who he's an aging player. Let me see, he's in his 13th year, so he's an older player. But one thing he's always been good at is forcing turnovers. Either it be an interception, could be a tip ball that leads into an interception, or he's well known for literally punching the ball out, getting fumbles. So if he can bring that over to Carolina, that can definitely help the offense, give us better field position, and getting that getting the other team's offense off the field. Also, his leadership. He's an older player and he knows he's been on teams. He's been on teams with good defensive players, so he can bring some leadership here. Josh Norman. Josh Norman's okay, but like I said, the secondary is a huge issue. He has to really show me something. At free safety, we have Trey Boston. Second year, I'll still give him a chance. But this next guy, I ain't giving no damn chance to. Roman Harper. We picked him up last year from Saints. We also I remember we picked up Thomas Deku last year from Atlanta. He's gone. He was a bum. Roman Harper, I understand why he's on the same team. And this is the guy who I think either you could put Shaq Thompson at strong safety, or you can put Charles Tillman at strong safety. He's the guy who Charles Tillman is a guy who has been playing the league long enough, and he can diagnose plays. He can get you turnovers. I don't see the point of starting Roman Harper. Honestly, I'm going. I'm going to go with Shaq Thompson as strong safety. Maybe they decide to do that. Who the hell knows? They make a lot of boneheaded decisions. But I'm hoping that Roman Harper gets cut. I'm surprised he made the 53-man roster, which they just announced that the other day. Surprised he made that, but just looking at him last year, he was so slow. He didn't do a good job of tackling, missed a bunch of tackles, was terrible at coverage. He didn't really do anything right. So I just don't get the decision with keeping him, especially when you can give some younger talent a chance. But let's see. Which one next one? Okay, we're going to the schedules. The schedule. Week 1, at Jacksonville playing Jaguars. Week 2, Texas are coming to Carolina. Week 3, the Saints, the division rival, is coming to Carolina. Week 4, Buccaneers. We're actually going to Tampa Bay. Week 6, we're going to Seattle. We play those fools every year. Usually it's in Carolina, but now we got to go to Seattle. Man. Week 7, Philadelphia Eagles come to us. Week 8, Colts come to Carolina. Week 9, Packers come to Carolina. Week 10, we had the Tennessee play the Titans. Week 11, Redskins in Carolina. Week 12, the Cowboys in Dallas. Week 13, the Saints in New Orleans. Week 14, Falcons at Carolina in Carolina. Week 15, the Giants. So we're pretty much we're playing the we're playing the NFC East and the AFC South. Week 15, we had to New York play the Giants. Week 16 had the Atlanta play the Falcons, and finished off week 17. Tampa Bay comes to North Carolina. So the schedule's pretty tough. I mean, looking at it, if I said week five is a bye week. Yeah, that was week 6. We play Seattle. um, Seattle game in Seattle, that's a tough one. The Eagles, they have talent. They have issues at quarterback, but they still have talent on the team. Colts, tough. Packers, tough. The Cowboys, their offense is still going to be really good. It's not as tough. The Saints, we always usually play the Saints well, and the Saints still have some injury concerns and not as many weapons that they had in the past. But I'm not going to completely go over all these games. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to cover? No, I pretty much broke down, depth chart. I, I did want to say one thing about the draft. I didn't understand getting Funches so early. I thought we could have got a different receiver. Especially seeing his game tape, I don't understand. I don't see that first round talent there. I'm pretty sure there was somebody else on the board, or they could have went in a different direction. Maybe get something else at in that first round. Another position in need, somebody in that secondary or something. I just didn't understand the getting Funches, but he's gonna have to step up. Man, it is his rookie season, but Kelvin Benjamin going down. These guys in the receiving core, tight ends, running backs. These guys are going to step up as pass catchers as well, even with the running backs. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. I will talk about. I think some people asked me to do. I believe the Bears, Packers. I'm not sure if it was the Steel. I think it was the Raiders. Might have been Raiders. I could be wrong. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. And let me know what team you want me to do. Of course, we got up to Thursday. Let me know what team you want me to do. Pretty much break it down just like I broke this one down. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.